How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Buried Broadcast here on the Sprinkles 138 YouTubes. I am your host, Shane, and today we are going to be watching The Mysterious Monsters from 1975. It is a documentary. I did start this off wrong. I did want to start it off with the short film, then come in, but let's just go ahead and do the intro, then we'll watch the short film. I'll shut up during the short film, then we'll discuss it afterwards. Then we'll watch Mysterious Monsters, so yeah, I kind of screwed it up, but yeah, anyway, welcome everybody, I'm Shane, your host, aka Sprinkles, here on the Sprinkles 138 channel. And yeah, this is Buried Broadcast. It's been a while since I did it. We're still new to this. It's like our 4th episode, so we don't have a real intro or anything. But yeah, like I said, I did have a different way I wanted to begin this, but I forgot because I was reading chat. Actually, I was trying to get chat to work. That's what the problem was. So yeah, we'll just intro here. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Glad to have you. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe. If you don't know what this show is, we watch lost and forgotten media from many different eras. Again, we're going to be watching a short film from 1896 here in a second. Again, I was going to kick it off with that and I screwed it up, but whatever, it happens. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that now since our intro song's over. But let me officially welcome everybody. I'm going to shut up for this and we'll talk about it afterwards, and we'll discuss and watch The Mysterious Monsters afterwards, so yeah, but again, welcome everybody. Glad to have you. I'm Shane Hahn. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch it. Let's hop on over there. So boom. Alright, I'll shut up. Let's watch this. This is The Haunted Castle from 1896. Alright, and that was The Haunted Castle from 1896, everybody. We'll go in a little detail about that here in a second. Let me get the next video queued up, though. That way we're ready to go for that. Whoops. So you'll probably hear it there. Alright, but that's called The Haunted Castle. That's what it was called here in the United States. It has many, many, many different titles. Again, it was from 1896. It was directed by Georges Méliès, the pioneering French filmmaker and illusionist. The production company was Star Film. That was Méliès' studio. It was released on December 24th of 1896. That's Christmas Eve in Paris, France. And hold on, let me pull this up. And the French title was called
Le Manoir du Diable.
That's what the French title was called, which translates to The Devil's Manor or The House of the Devil. And of course, like I said, the English title is basically The Haunted Castle, or sometimes referred to as... Hold on, give me a second. Referred to as...
The Délai Manoir du Diableville's Castle.
Such a beautiful language. Anyway... It was widely considered by historians to be the first ever horror film, or at least the very first to feature tropes and themes that would define the genre, such as the devil ghost and vampire-like transformation. It is also sometimes cited as the first vampire film. The film was primarily intended to be a comic fantasy or a trick film to invoke amusement or wonder for audiences, not true horror or true terror. The horror element served as a setting for Méliès' stage magic effects. It runs for approximately 3 minutes and 18 seconds, or 60 meters of film, which was considered remarkably ambitious for a film of that very early era. So that's like really long for a film back then, is what they're saying. Yeah, that's Google Translate. The film was presumed to be lost for almost a century until a copy was discovered in the New Zealand Film Archive in 1988. The movie is a masterpiece of early special effects utilizing a technique called the substitution splice or stop trick, where Méliès would stop the camera, change something on set, then resume filming, creating the illusion of objects appearing, disappearing, and characters instantly transforming. Méliès directed a separate, much shorter film in 1897 that was also titled The Haunted Castle or Les Châteaux Hantés. Yeah, see, that wasn't Google Translate. This 1897 film is sometimes confused with the 1896 Les Manoir de Diable, the first one they said, and is often cited as the first ever film remake. So this is the first ever film remake as well, and is remade a year later. So there you go, there's the Haunted Castle from 1896. For those of the gaming streams here on the channel, that was a few years before Red Dead took place. So, there you go. You just saw what could be the very first ever horror film. Fun. Now, let's move into the main event, The Mysterious Monsters from 1975. Let me go ahead and cue that up here. Give me a second. Boom. Alright, we got that up here. Alright, I want to stop a bit here at the beginning just so I can explain the film a bit. Then after that, we'll just get into it and discuss as we watch. So, there's a lot to get in here, so we'll unpack it as we go. I will say this is a theatrical release of this film. There was a TV special in 1974 that was narrated by Rod Serling from The Twilight Zone. But then he was replaced by Peter Graves from the Mission Impossible TV show and the Airplane movies, and one of my personal favorite movies of all time, Stylog 17, directed by Billy Wilder, starring William Holden and Peter Graves. But yeah. The original TV show was actually called Monsters, Mysteries, or Myths, which aired on CBS on November 25th of 1974. I believe that's Thanksgiving. So yeah. The theatrical release was titled The Mysterious Monsters, also known as Bigfoot the Mysterious Monster. And it premiered later in 1975, though it was more widely released by Sun Classic Pictures in March of 1976. The theatrical version allowed for more sensational, less scientifically critical approach to appeal moviegoers during the height of the 1970s Bigfoot craze. It grossed $10.96 million at the box office. And fun fact, I wondered why they took it from a TV show that got over 50 million viewers. I wondered why they took it from that and put it in the theaters. And fun fact, before streaming and VCRs and all that, what they did was if a show was successful, like even if you recorded it, not everybody had a VCR to watch it. Of course, if you don't know what a VCR, look it up. And we didn't have streaming services, so what they would do is they would make it into a feature film, and they would show it across the country so they could make more money off of it. Because they knew they would make less money re-airing it than they would just making it into a feature-length film. So, fun fact, that's what they did before streaming. I never knew that until this, yeah. But anyway, let's get into the movie. We'll talk more about it as we move along here, but that's basically what this movie is. And another fun fact, back in these days, I'd say probably like 75% or more people actually believed all this stuff was true. Of course, Bigfoot is real. I just mean they probably believed like this movie was supposed to be real when it's not. It's supposed to be more satire, but anyway, yeah, here we go. Mysterious Monsters, 1975.
Was filmed by many teams of cameramen and more than 100.
And let's stop right there. Let's go ahead and get into Peter Graves here while we have the chance. Well, like I said, Peter Graves is known for being on the Mission Impossible TV show from 1966 to 1973. He was in the Airplane movie. He is also an Airplane sequel. Like I said, he is also one of my favorite movies of all time. Where is it? Stylog 17. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Directed by Billy Wilder, starring William Holden there. Yeah, we're going to find out if Bigfoot's real. Also, fun fact about Peter Graves here, he was also in the Air Force and was a corporal in the United States Air Force. So yeah, that's the only actor we really have to talk about today, so let's just watch it from here and we'll discuss as we go. But there's Peter Graves. And Ninja, I know you've talked about Airplane before, so you know who he is.
Locations around the globe. Scientists representing the world's foremost research centers.
Feel free to chime in, chat.
The evidence.
This is your show.
That will be presented are
more
true.
than it is mine.
This may be the most.
Feel free to joke around. That's what this is about. Strap in, though. Get ready. We're about to learn about cryptids. Yeah, this is about an hour and a half long, so strap in. This is going to be our longest episode of Buried Broadcast yet. I'm sorry Barry didn't show up again, so 4th time in a row and he hasn't showed up. Sutton Classic Pictures presents. I kind of had to remaster this a bit, so it's still kind of grainy, so I apologize. And don't forget, we'll be doing this every Saturday for all October long. Of course, we do Buried broadcasts like once or twice a month on a normal schedule, but for Halloween, these are our Halloween episodes. We're doing them the next 3 Saturdays. Right. The Mysterious Monsters. This isn't just about Bigfoot either, it's about like Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti. That's what Bigfoot sounds like. Birds know it too. Look at them like, oh shit, there's a squatch. There's a squatch in the woods. Yeah, narrated by Peter Graves. Originally it was narrated by Rod Sterling of Twilight Zone fame on the TV show. Yes, filmed on a Nokia from 1994. Actually, later. 2000. You hear that Bigfoot? I have some fun current facts about Bigfoot too that we can get into later. But yes, again, this is from 1975. It was more meant to be a satire comedy type film, but again, most people took it seriously because they actually presented it pretty seriously. There you go. It's written and directed by Robert Guenette. I think that's how you say that. Apologize if it's not, but...
Look! What is it?
That's a damn squatch! Ah! Look at that thing!
The Pacific Northwest, 1975. Here in this forest, investigators have discovered
Look
a
at
set
Peter
of very
Graves
strange
looking all
footprints.
cool, get his jacket over one
Human-like
shoulder.
footprints, about 18 inches long and
the
7
pocket.
inches wide. The footprints of a
Look at that, they're taking plaster
mysterious
molds of the
creature is
Bigfoot.
roaming
It's a
this wilderness,
beast, that's
a
right.
creature
It's a
that
damn
has
squatch if
confounded
I've ever
scientists,
seen one.
baffled investigators, and captured the imagination of millions of people.
Yeah, the TV
We've
show
all heard
garnered
of
over
reported
50 million
sightings of this
views when it
creature,
first
a
aired. I
creature
think it
most of
aired
us know
once
as
and they
Bigfoot.
released
We've
this
read about it in our
theatrical
newspapers
release
and heard
here.
about it on radio and television.
Again, it grossed over 10
And some of
million.
you, like me, might have been skeptical about these reports, wondering how it could be possible for a sizable
Squatch hair.
population of 8-foot, 500-pound monsters to live among us on the edge of our
Look at that.
industrialized society.
That thing's huge.
Well, I was skeptical, but I was
Imagine
also
those feet
tantalized by
pics.
what I heard. So I decided to find out for myself.
Oh, and it's a
whether
rim
Bigfoot
shot, but
was
I don't
fact
have the
or
sound
fiction.
effects on the show.
I did this by going out to talk to the
on
eyewitnesses,
purpose.
questioning scientists, by examining the footprints, by looking at and listening to all of the available evidence. What I found out, I will now show you. A body of evidence.
Yeah, I
difficult
remember
to
that was like a
ignore.
big thing in the 80s. People used to sell like Bigfoot plaster molds
there's
like
the
that,
fact
and
that
like,
this
well, it's a
phenomenon
real
is
Bigfoot
nationwide.
footprint.
That each year, people of all kinds from many places report seeing the giant creature, describing it as being covered with hair, being half man, half ape, and as having an overwhelming stench.
Sounds like a squatch.
In the last decade alone, there have been over 300 reported sightings of Bigfoot in America. It's called by different names in different parts of the
Hey,
country.
Ohio.
The Momo, or the Fouke Monster,
Florida.
or the Skunk Ape, or Sasquatch,
The skunk ape.
or the
I like
Moxie
when they call it
Monster.
the skunk ape. It's a cool name.
But whatever they call it, the people who see it are all describing the
Alright, well,
same
those
thing.
were the stats in
I felt something.
1975. I don't have the current stats for all the states, but I do have some current facts about Bigfoot here, so here I will tell you. About the most recent sightings of Bigfoot, in May 2025 in Monroe, Michigan, a father and son reported seeing a large, dark, fur-covered creature on 2 legs while they were bow fishing. On May 2025 in Pennsylvania, a large human-sized entity was observed walking through a wooded area during a storm damage survey. And in August of 2025 in Missouri, a trail camera captured a photo of a Bigfoot on a private land. So, there's your most recent sightings. I don't have them state by state, but yeah, anyway. Let's jump back into it.
At me, or a feeling of being watched.
Look at this hippie.
And I turned around, and that's when I saw
Pot smoking
Bigfoot.
hippie.
I was terrified.
Ain't no wonder you're seeing Bigfoot smoking that
shock.
wacky tobacco
the-
all day.
Totally unexpected. And the only equation I could make on this thing is that it was a gorilla.
And we saw this hairy-looking animal crossing the road on its hind legs, and I can't tell you for sure.
I have a
whether-
feeling that guy's
what it
probably the guy
was.
that played Bigfoot. He
But
looks pretty big.
I believe it was Bigfoot.
I think he was Bigfoot. That's what
In
I
spite
think.
of such eyewitness testimony, there are
Why they had him
scientists who
sit
say that
down.
creatures like Bigfoot do not exist. That such monsters dwell only in our minds, not in our forests.
Look at
They
that
point out
thing.
that man has always been quick to
Yeah, they
believe in
cover it up
monsters.
like the UFOs. Of course, they're
These
talking
beliefs are
about
born
the
out of
UFOs
unknown
now.
and nurtured by the unexplained.
That's why they tear down all the land around here. They want to cover up the Bigfoots. Whoa, look at that thing.
But even these scientists agree that some monsters have had a basis in fact. For centuries, Western man had heard
Yeah, and they're
rumors
treating
about a
this movie
legendary
like
man
a
monster that roamed
kind
the
of like a
jungles of
crime
darkest
scene
Africa.
film is
It
intentional for
wasn't
the
until the
comedy
late 19th
purposes.
century that
But that's
science
why
caught
people
up
took
with
it
this legendary
serious.
monster calling it the gorilla.
Whoa, look at that thing.
New legendary creatures
look at
are
that
continually
Komodo
being
dragon.
found, like the Komodo dragon
See, I told
and the
you.
okapi.
What the hell's an
Discovered only in
okapi?
this century.
What the hell's an okapi? Look at that thing. He's like, oh, a panda.
The giant panda was not discovered by Western scientists until 1937. It is still rarely seen in its natural habitat, the
Did you know
bamboo
China
jungles
owns
and
all the
mountains
panda
of
bears
China.
and everybody around the world owns
New
them for the
species are, in
zoos
fact,
from
being discovered and
China?
classified each year.
On the back,
New
look it up.
mammals, reptiles, fish, birds, and thousands of new insects.
Look at the bats. Dracula.
People, too, are being discovered, like
Look at
these
this
Indians, the Tasadai, a Stone Age tribe living on the island of Mindanao in the Philippines.
Kids are like, our life sucks. Look at our dad. He's
These
drinking
primitive
out of a
people
stick.
lived on the edge of civilization, unknown and undiscovered by modern man until 1972.
These are probably just some homeless people they picked up in LA in the 70s. They're like, here, come in the woods with us. We'll give you 20 bucks.
Closer to home is the story of Ishi, the dawn man of
Ishi.
Redding, California. This sole surviving member of an otherwise extinct
Hello,
tribe of
nerds.
American Indians, the Yahi, lived in the forests nearby Sacramento without modern man's knowing it. When he emerged out of his Stone Age isolation in
They're
1912,
trying to say they had a
he was
tribe
living
in the middle
proof
of
that creatures
California.
like the Bigfoot
In modern
could
day,
live among
nobody
us without our
realized.
knowledge.
That's kind of funny. I was kind of right.
And if Bigfoot is a species of man or ape that has
I think
survived
that's what
the
they were
past
saying
age,
there. That's kind of
then
funny.
the turtle is proof that it could
Look at
exist.
this turd! Save
A
the
survivor
turd!
from
Don't
the
hurt
age of the
turd.
dinosaur, like certain lizards, some such creatures have remained unchanged for almost 200 million
Those
years.
lizards are cool. Those ones that run really fast. I don't know what they're
Another
called.
reptile
But
that
they're
has
really
survived
cool.
the
Oh,
ages.
shit.
More
Alligator.
proof that creatures from the past
I don't like
are
those.
alive today. There are even survivors of past
Yeah,
ages
all
that
these
were once
animals.
thought to be extinct, like the coelacanth, a species of fish scientists believed extinct for 60 million years,
It's a lot
but
of
found
years.
alive in the waters off South Africa in 1938. And like the creatures that dwell
That
in
was like
Loch Ness,
30 years
a
before.
mysterious lake in the Highlands of Scotland. Here in these waters dwells a family of monsters that some scientists believe are survivors from the age of the dinosaurs.
Oh, here we go. Nessie.
The Loch Ness Monster has been reported seen by thousands of people, by tourists, and by the villagers who live around the lake. And yet for years, the scientific establishment has denied the possibility of the monster's existence. Denied it even though its history goes back to the year 565, when a saintly monk first wrote about his encounter with the creature. Denied it even in the face of contemporary accounts, like that of the Reverend Father Brucey.
The dodo bird. They should talk about the dodo bird. Dodo bird was real, though.
And looking across to
He
the
just
bay,
went
we saw a
extinct.
sudden tremendous turmoil in the waters. And without being able to see anything what was causing it. And suddenly we noticed this huge black head moving along, 7
Whoa,
or 8
willow
feet out of
nerves.
the water, very, very slowly, coming towards in a diagonal direction. And then
I
after
believe
15
this guy.
seconds it went down. But we
He's a
never
man
saw
of
any
Jeebus.
humps. But it was very exciting while it lasted.
There it is, the
Like
world
Father
famous
Brucey
Loch Ness
saw,
Monster
was
picture.
photographed in 1934
This is the first
by
film that
vacationing London
showcased this
surgeon
picture.
Robert K. Wilson.
It's also proven years later that that picture
But
was a hoax.
scientists rejected that photograph as evidence, as they did
But yeah,
this
this
one,
was the first
taken in
film ever to
1951
publicly
by
like show
Lachlan
this
Stewart.
to,
A
I guess, a
photograph which shows
worldwide
the
audience.
mysterious humps that
Look at
undulate
them
on
humps.
the creature's back.
And lovely lady humps.
This picture, taken in 1955 by Peter McNabb, was similarly rejected, even though it clearly shows the creature nearby a familiar landmark. There were at least 16 photographs
But
of the
yeah,
Loch
they
Ness
prove it
Monster,
needs to be a
and all
hoax.
of them were
They were
rejected
kinda
as
easy to
evidence
make,
by the
actually.
scientific community.
I think it was just a little dinosaur toy, and they
It wasn't until
Just
this
use
man, Tim
distance and
Dinsdale,
whatnot.
took his motion picture film of the monster that some scientists began to take notice. It was in 1960. Dinsdale, an aeronautical engineer, took this film with his 16mm
That's how
spring-lined
aggressive.
camera using a 135mm telephoto lens. He submitted the film for analysis to the Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center at the British Defense Ministry. They enlarged the film, as shown here,
That's definitely not a
subjecting
log
it to
floating
intense
down the river.
scrutiny. Their conclusions? That the film is of a living object, that it's moving 10 miles per hour, and that it's 6 feet wide and 5 feet high. Dinsdale's film of the creature encouraged a new breed of monster hunters. Starting in 1962, the Loch Ness Phenomena Investigation Bureau brought a long-needed expertise into the search. They kept cameras pointed at all times on strategic parts of the lake.
The city made a bunch of money while they saw nothing.
This film, taken by Richard Rayner in June 1967. British Air Force scrutiny of this film led to the conclusion that, like the earlier Tim Dinsdale footage, this was a picture of a living object of some size.
How could they tell? It just looked like a log floating down the river. Or something they're doing. Yeah, it was probably just that. It was probably just a submarine. It was somebody looking
cameras
for
underwater
a Loch Ness
in
Monster.
submarines.
If there's a monster down there, I'm not
and
going down
murky
there.
darkness of the loch's waters closed off all possible visibility.
Look at that.
The submarines
1970s
were considered
GoPro.
useless
Hello, the Rat
and were
Man.
withdrawn.
I'm Shane today, the Rat Man. I go by my real name on this show. But welcome, the Rat Man.
Better results have been achieved with sonar. Sound waves which collect echoes
This
off
film's
whatever
about all
object
kinds
they
of
bounce.
things. Loch Ness Monster,
The
the
echoes
Yeti,
are converted into
Bigfoots.
electrical signals
But
on
welcome to Red Man,
shipboard
glad to have you.
graphic recorders.
Again, we'll be doing this every Saturday.
In
for the month of
1969,
October.
70, and 72, research teams acoustically
I will
exploring
tell you,
the
next
depths
week
of
we'll
Loch
be
Ness
watching the TV
have had
pilot for
contact
the
with
Monsters.
large moving objects. Objects
Strap
which
in for
some
that.
claim
Next week will be your
are the
shorter
Loch
stream.
Ness Monster.
Then the following Saturday, we'll have our Halloween episode, and we'll be watching House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price.
The director of one of these expeditions was a Boston patent lawyer and physicist,
Anyway,
Dr.
right
Robert
now, the
Rhines,
mysterious monster
who 4 times has
1975.
returned to Loch Ness to try to get subsurface photographs of the monster.
Just catch everybody up.
Dr. Rhines each time has dropped waterproof cameras into the loch.
Boy out there? Yes.
All this stuff is old.
That's right on the edge of a slope.
They didn't even have waterproof cameras. All they did was they would try to build something that was waterproof, put a camera in it, and just hope it didn't leak.
You lower this there and have this sink into the silt and so forth.
That technology developed into the real waterproof cameras that we have
by
today.
Dr. Harold Edgerton of MIT, who also developed Jacques Cousteau's underwater equipment. The cameras are connected to powerful strobe lights and sonar recorders.
And they're going to try to get Nessie
operated by
dancing down there with
computers.
some strobe lights.
On at least 2 occasions, objects larger than 30 feet, like the Loch Ness
I thought he was
Monster,
going to jump on
have
top of
passed
it.
through the sonar beam. The
That would've been
computers
funny.
then activated the strobe light and cameras.
He didn't do it
taking
right. You're supposed to
pictures
go
every 10
backwards. It
seconds.
ruins your tank or something. if
In
you
this
don't.
way, the Rhines team has collected the best
an idiot.
evidence to prove the Loch Ness Monster's existence.
I ain't swimming in that water if there's a monster in there. Sorry. Real or not, I'm not swimming in it.
From 100 feet below the surface, they have achieved dramatic photographs, while at the same time recording sonar tracings. Tracings which indicate the passing of 2 large marine animals. On the sonar tracings, even the oft-reported mysterious humps of the creature registered.
Oh, look at there. You can see the humps.
The photographs are
Nessie's
close-up
humps.
dramatic pictures of a fin, about 8 feet long and 4 feet wide.
That looks like a fin.
The fin of the Loch Ness Monster.
It's definitely not a ball sack.
Reptilian prelude.
Now that we know that it's there, what is it?
Substance which could be
Look at this guy, he
Dinsdale,
looks
who's
like
interviewed
Dr.
almost
Strange.
every living eyewitness of the monster, has an idea.
Then you get this tremendous body. The forward limbs, I think, are rather smaller than the rear ones. These curious humps, of which I think
Look
there are
at them
2
humps.
basically at
They
the
love
pelvic
Nessie's
and the shoulder
humps.
girdle, and This
Ain't
region
no
in
shark.
between seems to be able to change shape.
They would have ate
People
them when
seen
they were
the back
swimming in
changing
there.
shape.
Yeah, that's
They've actually
definitely
watched
Dr.
it.
Strange.
And then right up the back end, you have, I think, a tremendous swimming tail, like a crocodile's tail, which is
Yeah, he's
used
talking about
to
Nessie's back
propel the
end.
thing through the water.
Yeah, it's a camel.
This mock-up,
It's a
based
swimming
on
camel.
eyewitnesses' descriptions
with
and the
fins.
various photographs, suggests that the Loch Ness Monsters
That's how
are
they
a
get the
family
water
of
in their humps.
plesiosaurs, animals believed extinct for millions of years. As we learned with the coelacanth,
Yeah,
extinct is not as
definitely not
final as
scuba
it
diving
sounds.
if that's what they think's in there.
Some scientists now believe Loch Ness is home to 30 or 40 such giant creatures. Creatures the local people refer to as Nessie, a harmless monster.
They live in that castle.
Unless one considers the tragic accident that befell British speed champion John Cobb.
Yeah, this suggests
Attempting
that
to set a
Cobb
new
died
record on
from...
water,
He was a
Cobb
speed
took his boat,
boat
the
racer.
Crusader,
This
onto
suggests
Loch
that
Ness
Nessie
in
knocked his boat
1955.
over and killed him, and I think they think it ate him too. That's probably what they were filming on the water. That, from a distance, that's what it looked like, was a straight line of a speedboat. So that's probably what they were filming on the water that they said was Nessie. It was probably just a speedboat. And they're claiming right there that he hit
Cobb was
Nessie.
killed.
He
His
hit
boat
Nessie's
striking a mysterious
humps.
turbulence. Indications are that this was caused by the wake of one of the Loch's monsters,
Yeah.
which was trying to avoid Cobb's thundering speedboat.
Yeah. He hit Nessie's humps. Cobb's dead. He
Once
died.
rejected by scientists and skeptics, the Loch Ness Monsters are
R.I.P.
now believed
Cobb.
to live in this lake, 24 miles long, 1 mile wide.
John Corn Cobb, they called him.
But still rejected by scientists
Sorry.
and skeptics
Talk
are the
about
giant
that.
monsters that dwell in the forests of North America.
I'm not a skeptic. Nessie's pretty much been disproven
There's
since
still
this
an
film.
uncharted wilderness in America where unknown creatures could live.
Bigfoots
Hundreds
and
of
Yetis
thousands
haven't,
of
though.
square
That's what
miles
we're about to
unexplored
get
by
into.
man, mapped only by aerial survey. A wilderness extensive enough to conceal a large population of hairy giants.
Of course, if you're enjoying today's stream, don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that link button, become a member. You're inclined to become.
This
Don't
wilderness
forget,
is shrinking,
Barry
and
Broadcast is
civilization
also on
narrowing its
Spotify,
boundaries.
so if you're just
As
looking
it
for
does,
this
our
podcast
contact
and
with the
don't want all the
Bigfoot
gaming
creatures
stuff
becomes more
on this
frequent.
channel, you can also
Each
follow
year,
on
there are more
Spotify.
footprints discovered,
Link in the
more
description.
sightings reported. On the edge of the Oregon wilderness, in the Dalles, Bigfoot investigators have now opened an information center.
See, Bigfoot's
Not
got his own
unlike
flag,
what was
he's
done
a
at Loch
sovereign
Ness,
citizen.
to keep abreast of the increasing reports of such sightings.
What happened? Do you think you actually saw something or heard something? Okay. Did it look like a man? Was it walking upright? Okay.
Bigfoot
How
lives
big do
in
you think it
Ohio.
was?
He does, I see him. Well, there he is, look at him.
Before it.
See
It's a
him.
creature that most people
Yeah, he does
reject
live here, I've seen him
until
before.
they see it themselves. One skeptic was Mrs. Mary Jefferson, a widow.
Oh,
living
Mrs.
alone in a
Mary
small
Jefferson's
town
a
in
crazy
northern
cat lady
Washington.
down the street. Nobody believes what she says. Oh
In
wait,
late
she's the
August
dog lady, I mean.
1973, she was distracted by the incessant barking of her dog.
Nice cashmere sweater she has though.
Emerging out of the wilderness, perhaps because of the recent forest fires to the north,
Better get her dog.
came a creature
Bigfoot's
Mrs.
gonna eat it.
Jefferson had never seen before.
Look at that thing. Yeah, ain't liking that. He's just a Bigfoot. Ninja explained what he was earlier. Ah!
Later, an investigation team discovered giant footprints where Mrs. Jefferson said she saw the monster, providing supporting evidence to her testimony that Bigfoot had walked in her backyard.
It's
He was
human
8 or 10
ninja.
feet tall, and he weighed 700 or 800 pounds. Now he walked upright
Yeah,
like
these
a man.
Bigfoot
And
reenactments
his
were like a key
hair,
ingredient
well, it was
in making
brownish,
this film a big
and it
hit
stood up on
in
end.
the
It was all
B-movie scene.
tousled. And his face was just hideous, and he
Just
smelled.
Look how great they are. Yeah, I told you bad movies could be good.
The search for Bigfoot in the United States is in its infancy. the search for a relative of the Bigfoot has already been underway in Asia for over half a century. In the Caucasus and Pamirs mountain ranges
here we
of
go,
Russia,
the abominable snowman, the
scientists have
Yeti.
found proof of a Bigfoot creature, which they call the Almista. In the nearby Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world, Western explorers and investigators have pursued the riddle of another elusive man-ape, the hairy giant known as the abominable snowman, or the Yeti.
The Yeti.
Part of the mountain people's lives for centuries,
Which is
the
basically
snowman only
like
became
the
known to
snow
West in
version
the
of
late 19th
Bigfoot.
century, when British mountaineers began to attempt to conquer Mount Everest. But it wasn't until 1951 when veteran climber Eric Shipton discovered
All this
a new pass
film of
at
them climbing this
19,000
mountain is
feet.
actually recycled from
Actual
other
evidence
older
was collected.
documentaries because they couldn't afford to go to these
Standing where
places.
no man had ever been before, took these photographs
Just so you know.
of giant man-like tracks.
Yeah, it's just like
Once
old
a
B-roll
non-believer in the
footage from
Yeti,
other documentaries, and they
Shipton
spliced it into this
Well, I
movie.
must say I felt I had a very strange feeling inside. I've often seen these tracks before, but hitherto I'd always been a bit of an agnostic about the whole question. But seeing these tracks so absolutely fresh and clear, well, there seemed to be no doubt about it at all. And it was that really gave me a very eerie feeling.
I think he's got makeup on. I don't think he's really old.
One was in the presence
I think
of
they're just trying to
something
make him
great
look old.
unknown.
Although these strange footprints puzzled the scientific community, they reinforced the startling story told by a veteran explorer.
I'm not a skeptic, but come on, that guy didn't
Nicholas
even look
Tombazzi
old.
of Athens, Greece, a photographer and a trained
I'll believe in
observer,
Bigfoot before I
had
believe
claimed
he was
saw
old.
the
He's probably
abominable
old
snowman
now.
on an expedition to
Or
Everest
dad.
in 1925.
Yeah, again, all this footage you're seeing was from other documentaries.
Almost never seen
They're
by
claiming
Westerners,
it's theirs.
the snowman
Oh
was
shit,
glimpsed
look
by
at that.
Tombazzi in a clearing only
I
300
thought the Yeti
yards
was
away.
white. I thought its fur was white.
Tombazzi described it as a dark and hairy, man-like creature that was grubbing for roots with a stick. Other
How the
evidence
hell's he
to
gonna
prove
find
the
roots
snowman's
in the
existence
snow?
has been collected. In 1958, one expedition discovered this cave, thought to be the lair of the Yeti.
Yeti. Yep, that's a Yeti nest if I've ever seen one.
And in 1961, another expedition came across what was believed to be the hide of a Yeti.
Well, they don't
Others discovered
reenacting
what
it.
was believed to be a Yeti's mummified hand,
Whoa, look at that.
and what was said to be the hide of a Yeti's skull.
It's a weird skull, yeah.
Some
That hand was cool, you
anthropologists
see
believe
that?
the abominable snowman is a very primitive species of man. Others think it's a giant anthropoid, an undiscovered ape that has evolved in a direction other than man.
What does that mean? It's from another dimension?
They believe that these giant
mean Harry and the
creatures
Hendersons
migrated
ninja?
from Asia to America
That's a good
thousands
Bigfoot
of years
movie.
ago on what was once the Bering Straits land bridge, which linked Russia to Alaska.
It shows you how successful this film made
In support of this
Bigfoot.
theory,
They were able
there is
to
the evidence of
drag
Bigfoot's
Bigfoot
continued
out until
presence
like
in
the
Indian
mid-80s
history,
for
appearing in
another 10
various
years.
forms on totem poles and
Actually, it
paintings,
still goes today.
being
We
called
just
by
went
different
through the
names,
current
like
sightings.
Gilwick, Salatic, Oma, Bukwas, and Sasquatch.
Diane
Part of the
Keaton
North
just
American
passed
Indian
away, is that
mythology
true?
from the beginning,
Damn, R.I.P. Diane
Bigfoot was
Keaton,
first encountered by a European in 1811.
if that's true.
British explorer and mountain
Chad
man
is telling
David Thompson
me that, so I don't know if
noted
it's
in his
100%
journal that
true.
while crossing the Rockies, he came across footprints made by a giant. Footprints whose great size, he wrote, could not
He's
have
an
been
actor.
made by bears. And in July of 1884, a British Columbia newspaper carried the account of the capture of a creature. A creature they called Jacko. Whose
Jacko.
description fits that of a young Bigfoot.
Jacko the
Another
Bigfoot.
early account of Bigfoot in America
He's like Jambo the
comes from
hairless
President
chimp.
Theodore Roosevelt in a book he wrote about his days out west. The true story
Guy's got a
concerns
nice
two
mustache.
trappers on the Salmon River.
Also,
It was in
Teddy Roosevelt.
1852. The trappers encountered the creature.
Ah!
Violence followed. One of the men was killed. Roosevelt wrote that he believed the story.
See, look at that, a United States president.
In 1924,
believed
in
in
British
Bigfoot.
Columbia, a vacationing prospector, Albert Ostman,
He looks like Sean
reported
Connery.
that he was captured and held prisoner by a family of
Kinda.
4 Bigfoot creatures.
Yeah, that was me.
Ostman's incredible
I was just
tale
chilling in the
included
woods.
observations that one scientist felt could only have come from a direct encounter
Oh, look,
with
there's
a
a whole
large
family
primate
of 'em.
species. Ostman signed an affidavit before his death attesting to the
That is
truthfulness of
one
his story.
ugly son of a bitch. Look at that thing.
That same year in Washington State, Fred Beck and 4 other miners reported they shot at 2 different Bigfoot creatures. Later, Beck and his friends were attacked by an angry group
Kind of
of
weird
Bigfoot
Bigfoot
giants
gets sighted
who
on
tried
all
to
the
destroy
place
their
where
cabin
meth
by
is
rolling
heavy.
large boulders onto the roof. These and other accounts make up the long history of man's experience with Bigfoot in the forests
Only
of
jokes
America.
here.
We need something more. The accounts of eyewitnesses today, people whose stories we can check on firsthand.
Yeah. Current day in 1975. Here in 1975.
Such is the story of Mary
Hear
Lou
that wolf?
Bowman
He's like, "Arr!"
of a small town in western Michigan. The time, October
Oh,
6th,
another Michigan. Didn't we have a
1974.
current day one that was
The
in Michigan?
17-year-old high school senior was waiting for her
Yeah,
father.
we did. May 2025. We had Monroe, Michigan. A father and son saw Bigfoot while they were both fishing recently. Must
Don
be a lot of
Bowman, the
Bigfoots
former
there.
high
Michigan's
school
close
football
to
coach
Ohio
and now
too, so maybe
respectable
they migrate
businessman,
down here. Maybe we've got
had never
the
heard of the creature that he and his
Squatches
daughter
down
were
here.
about to encounter. Had no idea that the dark road ahead, beyond where his daughter stood waiting for him,
Yeah, well,
held
you
a
know.
promise of terror that would soon
What's his
bolt
daughter
up out
doing
of
in
the
the dark
shadows.
road in the middle of the night in the middle of the woods? What's up with that?
How was your babysitting?
Fine, except for I didn't know they'd be unsolved.
What the hell was she babysitting? She was in the middle of the woods. Where's the baby? Shouldn't sit on babies.
And the whole weekend now doing homework.
Ah! No! Damn, it's a family truckster from National Lampoon's Vacation. Damn, look at that. They kicked that bitch sideways. You see that?
The next
Drifting
day,
that
police
station
found
wagon.
giant footprints in the dirt on the side of the road near the site of the
Dude
accident.
coming out like Paul Walker with that station wagon. Drifting
Stories
around
from
the Tokyo
eyewitnesses like Don
corners.
Bowman and his
Tokyo
daughter
Drift.
are the most compelling evidence for Bigfoot's existence. They are, in fact, Exhibit A in our investigation, and there are hundreds of them. Like this one from former Sheriff Oliver Potter.
Like I say, I'm born in the woods, the Cascade Mountains. I know the animals that are
Yeah,
here.
this movie was also the first
This
film to
was
feature a clip
something
of a
different that I
female
had never
Bigfoot
seen
walking
before.
around, and people thought it was very controversial
A
because
large
they had a
creature,
female Bigfoot
about
too.
7.5
Yeah, you
to
think
8
people are
foot
stupid
tall.
these days? They were mad because they had a
It
female
was
Bigfoot.
grayish
in this.
black in color. And as it went away from me, I seen the backside of it, walking as a man would walk on its hind legs.
There were 4 of us
True
in the car
fact.
when we.
Look at the mustache on that guy.
We
Nice.
pulled up on the freeway and pulled back for optimum viewing.
He gets all the
I'd seen
hotties
people
with
from
that
the same
mustache.
location and in about the same spot before. Humans up there. It probably was twice the size.
Young
And it was a
Sprinkle.
dark brown, just swaying back and forth, sitting on a rock.
That's me in the 60s.
It moved more or less like a man, and it was about 6-7 feet tall and probably a blackish brown color. And I couldn't see its face because it was running away from me across the road. And I actually, her and I both
Kids
saw
like,
it
my
disappear
dad's
in the
full of
brush.
shit.
Like I say, I was born and raised around here, and bears just don't walk on his hind legs that long.
Well, again, I believe he played Bigfoot because he was a big guy when they showed him at the
Another
beginning.
eyewitness
I
of the
think he's
creature was
Bigfoot
Shirley
in this
Adams,
movie.
a teacher and school bus
That's what I
driver
think.
in a small town on
Look
the
at that
coast of
school
northern
bus.
Washington. A long longtime
Hello,
resident of the
nurse.
area, the young school teacher had often heard stories about the giant, hairy, ape-like
Young
monster.
school teacher.
but
She's
she had
probably
never
like
seen
80
it.
now.
Never thought she would.
Look at that. I think Bigfoot was out there surfing. A surfing Squatch. Why would you go out there and look at it?
Did not frighten her. She experienced, in her own words, an unusual pleasure at seeing a creature at peace with nature.
Whoa, she slept with that
observed the hairy
Bigfoot.
giant for several
She
moments
had
and
relations
considered
with
it
that
not in terms
Bigfoot.
of fear, but in terms of wonder.
That's how they made the female Bigfoot.
Eyewitness testimony, however, has had little such effect on the scientific community.
Eyewitness reports are not reliable. People can think they see things. Their minds can play tricks on them.
Dr. Tibbet, so many people have seen Bigfoot now. Is it possible that they're all hallucinating?
Look, see this skull? Now that's hard evidence.
I
Something
wish
to
I could
test,
surf
to
to be
deal
fun.
with. Bring me a bone or a skull or a carcass, and then maybe I'll believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Hundreds of law-abiding, respectable people have testified that
Peter
they've seen
Graves.
Bigfoot. They've signed affidavits to that effect. They've even subjected themselves to examination under
Oh,
hypnosis.
Hollywood.
And yet the scientific community completely disregards such testimony.
It's unreliable.
Now, isn't it possible that science doesn't know how
Yeah,
to
and if
use
you haven't seen
oral
Airplay
evidence?
movies, or
I mean,
definitely
how to
Stylog
evaluate it, let's say,
17
the way the
with
law
Peter
does.
Graves. Check it
Now, isn't
out.
oral
There's a
testimony the basis of
movie
our
season.
judicial system?
Well, I don't know. Science needs something concrete. Why, for instance, hasn't a hunter ever been able to find the remains of a dead Bigfoot in the forest? I mean, there have been so
All
many
right, good
people
question,
through the area
chat.
where this
Can
thing
you answer that?
supposedly has
Why
been
haven't they
seen.
found the carcass?
Yet nothing.
Maybe the other animals ate it.
A valid
Did
question.
you ever think about that? That
To
does
find out the
happen.
answer, I talked to anthropologist Dr.
Find a
Lawrence
dead
Bradley.
Bigfoot, and a wolf comes
Well,
walking
in
along
reality,
and finds a dead
very few
Bigfoot.
bones
You
are
know?
ever found anywhere in the forest. When an animal dies, it's immediately
like
eaten
this
by
is a
another
beast.
animal. This is the disposal service of nature at work. I go up in the woods in Oregon and Washington all the time. And I've
See,
never
it's these
seen
people that
remains
are
of
not
bears or
scientists
even
that are
mountain
dressed like
lions.
scientists
And these
that people
animals are in
believe
abundance
most
up
of this
there.
stuff was real.
Dr. Bradley, it's been suggested by some people that maybe the Bigfoot creatures bury their dead.
That's remotely possible.
Ooh,
Bigfoot
that's
is,
a
as some
good
of us
theory.
think,
They
a
bury their
humanoid,
dead
a species
because
of
they're
animal
half
more
human,
man-like
maybe,
than beast.
Ninja. Mm-hmm.
But it is possible.
Yes, but it's a proposition completely rejected by my colleagues. But then my colleagues completely reject the possibility of Bigfoot.
Yeah. What do your colleagues know?
Bigfoot, most scientists
They probably don't
say,
believe in
cannot
ghosts
exist.
either.
But Dan Malachny of Deer Lodge, Montana, disagrees.
I don't care what other people think. I saw Bigfoot 10 years ago.
I believe you, Dan.
I was with 11 other Boy Scouts at the time. And we were camping 18 miles south of Butte in the
I
Deer
believe
Lodge
it. He's got
National
nice
Forest.
sideburns.
We had walked in to the forest about 5 miles that day.
Not over yet. We got another mile. John, did you get a new OA flap?
Not yet. I started another hour's service.
Oh, God, my boots are killing me.
You're not the only one, man.
It's Nick Offerman. He kind of does look like Nick Offerman when he shaves his
went
mustache.
down in there and they found cars smashed.
After setting up camp, Dan and his friends ate dinner and then sat around and talked, telling jokes
Yeah, the
until
Bigfoot's
bedtime.
come out to eat the
The
corn in the
boys were all in their
cornfields.
bedrolls
Ninja.
and fast asleep by 11 o'clock.
I mean, you saw on the map earlier, they had like 8 sightings in 1975. That's probably tripled by now. I was the guy with the mustache with the hottie.
Dan's friend
That
was
was
the
me
first
in
to
the
sense it,
60s.
the first to hear it.
That we saw a couple minutes ago. I bet that's the Bigfoot playing the drums out there. Don't move. See, this is what we're going to be doing in the game The Quarry that we started playing yesterday. When it picks up, we're going to be having to hide from things like that. If you missed The Quarry yesterday, go back and check that out. I know it's starting out slow, but it'll get better. Yeah, that's a damn Sasquatch. Looking for their Twinkies. Smelling their undershorts. Bigfoot's a pre-birth. Ah! Stupid kid, I think I ripped your damn arm off and beat you with it.
Dan and two other boys saw the giant monster.
Whatever. That kid's stupid. Why would you scream if you see that?
And when we got up the next morning, we went up on the ridge.
Oh, we gotta see this
saw
picture.
the Bigfoot out.
Dan here's
And
probably
when
a
we got up
master
there,
artist.
we discovered a number of footprints, the biggest footprints I've ever seen. And they look something like this.
Oh, that's a big, yep, that's a big footprint.
Exhibit B, the footprints. Some 20 inches long, 8 inches wide. Footprints found impressed 2 inches deep into the earth, 1.5 inches deeper than a normal man's.
What she said.
Footprints that show that a giant walks here, moving on 2 feet as a man moves. Footprints that should be permitted to establish the existence of a creature, if, after all, fingerprints can be used to hang one. These footprints, however, in spite of their number, do not
People probably
convince
made
the
a fortune
scientific
selling
community
those
that
things,
Bigfoot
too.
exists. These scientists maintain that nature plays tricks with footprints, especially in the snow. Footprints, they say, change shape.
I think some of them
grow larger
original
as they
cast
continuously
Bigfoot
melt
prints
and
go for a lot of
refreeze.
money now.
I asked Peter
the original
Byrne,
molds
formerly a
from are
big
gone.
game hunter in the Himalayas, about this theory of distorted footprints in the snow.
Shoot one. Small footprints do melt out. This is true. Footprint of a deer, say 2 inches across, may become 5 or 6
See, I
or
think
even
he
7
was the
inches
old
across.
guy that
They
was
melt.
laying in bed.
They
I
do not
wasn't
melt
wrong.
with
I
any
think they put a bunch
uniformity.
of makeup on him.
So that if you had a line
I
of
said,
these
here, be an old
footprints,
guy,
the
lay in
melted
bed.
footprints of a small animal, they come out completely out of any uniformity, different shapes, squares, circles, oblongs, and so on. And I think it's ridiculous to suggest that a small animal and the melting snow could really make a Bigfoot track.
That bear.
Some believe that the giant footprints are made by bears, who, as they move,
Oh, well,
place
for
their
small
hind feet
footprints, it's
into
not
the
a
tracks of their
Bigfoot now,
front
is
feet.
it? Thank you. Ain't no bear print.
I don't think this is possible. The
They're
footprints
shaped like
that
a
I've seen
human
are very
foot.
definite. They're very definitely the foot of a large bipedal hominid, a human-like creature
Bipedal,
with 5 toes. When you get an overlap, you get a confusion of toes and heels and so on.
I think that's what
These
you
are
were saying
clear-cut
earlier,
footprints,
Mitch.
and in my mind, there's no mistake. They could not be a quadruped.
He just said it more fancy.
Distorted by nature or made by a quadruped like bears, scientists say they're footprints made by hoaxers.
Yeah, that ain't no damn
like Ray
bear
Dickens
print.
of Chehalis, Washington. 7 times
I
beginning
don't
in
believe this either.
1971,
Why can't they just
Dickens has tracked the
say, hey, it
wilderness
was
with
the
bogus
Squatch?
Bigfoot tracks. His purpose? Not to fool the scientists, but to fool the monster hunters. He tells us why.
Well, we were sitting there having coffee at this Arden Cafe, and 2 gentlemen came in, and they was asking us about Bigfoot. We said, well, we didn't believe in it. And one gentleman says, well, you hicks around Arden probably wouldn't. And I turned to my friend, which his name is Harvey, and I says, Harvey, we're hicks. What are we going to do about it?
Harvey the Hick.
And he says, yeah, what are we going to do about it? I says, we're going to
Must
show
be
them
from
who the
Ohio.
hicks are. And then I went home and made boots.
Nah.
Hoaxers have fooled
He's
the
like,
experts
fuck you.
occasionally,
I want
but
to show you I'm a
anthropologist
real
Robert
hick by
Guenette
putting on
of
big
Washington
feet.
State University
Instead
insists that fakers could not have made all the giant
Kind of funny,
footprints.
There are a number of footprints
Whoa,
that
it's Tony Schiavone.
that,
It's Steve!
are faked, and this can be done.
Any
But on
wrestling
the other hand,
fans
there are a
out
few
there
that show some
watch
characteristics
AEW,
that I
he
think
looks
could
like
not
Tony
have been
Schiavone.
faked. This is one such footprint.
Yeah.
This,
Bigfoot
cast
looks like
I've
Andre
drawn
Giant.
in
This
the
guy looks like
approximate
Tony
reconstructions of the
Schiavone.
bones.
He's a ring announcer.
This is a crippled individual where a couple of bulges have extended out
Look at those
between
bulges.
adjacent bones on the outer edge of the foot. If this had been a human foot, these bulges would have been farther back. But they're shifted
Tell you
forward,
what, Andre
making
the
the
Giant's
heel
foot
longer
probably
and
was
front of
about
the
that
foot
big.
shorter. This is exactly what is
Maybe bigger.
required for a foot that's going
That'd
to
be a
carry
hell of a fight,
perhaps an
Bigfoot
800-pound
versus Andre the
body.
Giant.
Now, I don't think any faker could have thought of it and figured this out and adjusted his footprint accordingly. A fake footprint is just simply an expanded, enlarged footprint or enlarged copy of a human foot.
Well, there you go. He
With this
just proved
convincing
it.
background, I now thought it best to
That
talk
ain't
to
no
a
human.
trained observer who personally discovered such giant tracks, like newspaperman Ed McLarney of Stevenson, Washington.
I turned my head and looked in the direction Marv was pointing. Down below us, for as far as the eye could see, were two sets of tracks coming parallel up this terrifically steep ridge. They crossed the road. We walked up the road just a little bit farther, and they crossed the road right in front of us. Big, big tracks.
Smoking
they were
on
firm
camera.
tracks, and obviously the kinds of tracks that people have talked about when they describe Bigfoot. And what was especially convincing was the terrific distance between footprints.
Everybody's
I've
an
got pretty
expert
long
when they
legs. I'm
see a
nearly
big
6'4",
footprint.
and I could not, in trying to
You've
stretch
seen him
my
in the
feet,
woods. I've seen one
could
before
not
too, Ninja.
duplicate what we were
Mine
seeing
might have
there.
been
I
a
had to
Yeti
jump
though,
from
because
one
I've seen
track
it
to
in the
another
wintertime when it was
to duplicate
snowing,
the
but it
distance
was still
between
here,
tracks.
so it's probably a
In the
Bigfoot in
first
the
place,
wintertime.
I do not think that
Like
any
that,
human being
right
would have
there.
been physically capable of marching
I guess
up
the Yeti's
that
just in the
ridge
Himalayas
that
like
deep
we learned
snow.
earlier.
In the second place, that superhuman strength was required to do it.
Either way, I
For
think
years,
we've done
the only
established
proof of
that
Bigfoot's existence were the
Bigfoot's
accounts
real.
of eyewitnesses and the plaster casts of footprints.
verdict's still out
It's
on
only now,
old
during
Nessie
the last
there.
decade, that proof in the way of physical evidence has begun to be accumulated. Here in these woods, in a remote region of the High Sierra, some of that evidence has been collected. It was in the fall of 1972, and three men, Alan Berry, Rick Murphy, and Tim Sawyer, had just discovered human-like footprints 20 inches long. They'd heard about the creature called Bigfoot, but they never thought they'd encounter it.
Maybe Shaquille O'Neal's just walking
The men
around
were
in the woods.
relaxing after a hard day in the woods.
He's got big feet.
I'll tell you, the next time we're coming out, he's doing the cooking, not you.
All right, I don't need any ribbing about that, though, you know. I told you guys I came up here as the guy. You believe that? Listen, next time, Mel can do the cooking. That's a good idea. Well, I'll go home with Barry.
They're talking about Barry. Where is Barry? He didn't show up again today.
Listen.
What the fuck is that?
Sounds like my mother-in-law.
Hey, don't joke around. Listen.
He got joked. What the hell? Sorry, I didn't mean to cough in your ear. I tried to mute it.
I never heard anything like that before.
Me neither. I'm gonna get that on the tape recorder.
Fortunately, on this trip to the Sierras, Alan Berry had his tape recorder along to record the sounds of various birds and animals. Calmly, he reached for this and not for his rifle.
Where's it coming? I don't know.
Maybe it's just him going in the tape recorder, and then he slowed it down. Sounds like they're mating.
I took the sound tapes recorded by Alan Berry to Dr. Robert Sheldon. Not knowing what strange creature made these sounds, Dr. Sheldon subjected them to a rigorous computer analysis. How do you go about analyzing
All they used in computers in 1975. Oh, look, it's Ben Affleck.
The sound into the
Paul
computer.
Rudd.
Digitizing consists of converting each second of sound into 20,000 numbers.
Look at that
are
computer.
stored in the files on the computer.
Getting on MySpace.
We can select any portion of this we'd like and do a frequency analysis on this portion. We've chosen the ah sound from the tape because it seems to have an unusual formant structure.
Yeah.
Do you mean that you've picked just
Cheap
a certain
$250
part of this
laptop I'm
one
using to
section of
stream
it?
with right
We've
now
taken
probably
a
works
section
better than
of
that
this tape for
computer.
analysis, much like
Yeah,
a
that's what he
scientist might
uses to
take a
stream on Ninja.
piece that he wants to analyze
That's the kind
and
of
look
computer
at it
he
under a
has.
microscope. This particular sound that we're looking at has a frequency structure that's lower than the normal male human voice. For example, we could do a sample of your voice, and then we could compare the analysis of your vowel with the analysis that we have from the tape.
I think they just want to
You can speak into the
Peter
microphone
Gray's
here,
voice. I
and
think that's
we
what
can
it
record
was.
that into the computer. Just say ah.
Just go.
The comparison of the two printouts showed that the creature's vowel sound peaked early, higher than mine. My sound edged out at a secondary, lower peak. I asked Dr. Sheldon what he could learn from these comparisons.
Human male has a vocal tract on the average
Look at
of
that,
about 17 centimeters long. This analysis tells us that based on the
these
formant
computers
frequencies
gonna
of
take
this
over the
sound,
world one day.
we would have a vocal tract of about 25 centimeters long.
Yeah, it's Ryan
Some
from the
idea
Quarry
of
that
the
we played
size of
yesterday.
whatever
Ninja.
creature made the noise.
Yes. We could say that the vocal tract that produced
That guy
these
kind of
sounds
talks
would
like
have
him. That
been
guy looks like
at
Ben
least,
Affleck and Paul Rudd if
50%
they had a
larger than
baby.
a human male.
Then that means that if I'm over 6 feet tall, the creature that made this sound must be over 9 feet tall.
What?
That's probably true,
You were
yes.
saying he was 8
Are
feet
there
tall
any other
earlier.
tests that you can
He grew
do
a whole
to,
damn foot through the whole
analyze
damn
the tape?
movie.
We can do what we call a formant track. That's it's similar to a voice print. It's a newer and better way to do a voice
Bill
print
Shays.
analysis on the computer. We
I
can
don't
look
know
at
who
the
that is, but he's got a funny
movement
name.
of the frequencies and
I'll have
say
to look that up.
something about the articulatory flexibility. During the 15 minutes of sound on this tape, we have examples of three
Hey, it
vowels.
does sound like Ryan, though, from that Quarry game.
And O. But nowhere on the tape is there the sound E. Now, the sound E requires moving the tongue forward in the mouth. And if we look at the physical structure of, say, a gorilla, the gorilla has the neck at a different angle, and it's impossible for the gorilla to move his tongue forward
So
in order to
gorillas
make
can't
the
say
E sound.
E's. Is what this guy's
The
saying.
fact that we don't see this sound on the tape suggests
the
that this
tape.
creature perhaps had did not have the ability to make that sound.
It makes sense why his name's Bigfoot.
Do you
and
know
don't have an E in
what
it.
made these sounds?
Or Sasquatch.
No, I don't. Well, the first
Exhibit C.
is digitize this into
The sounds
Yeah, they
made
do.
by
He's
an
gonna have
unknown
trouble
creature,
with that
probably
one.
Bigfoot.
That consists of
Sounds that seem to indicate that the creature is more man than ape.
You hear that,
Similar
Ninja?
sounds
It's
to
more
those heard
man
by
than
Alan
ape.
Berry and his friends have been heard by others, by those on expeditions searching for Bigfoot, and by men like Hal Williamson of Idaho.
I'm going by
Williamson,
1975
a longtime
logic.
fisherman and outdoorsman, was vacationing in British Columbia, Canada,
Real
when he
man
first
right
heard
there.
the strange sounds, coming, it seemed, from a great distance. The sounds seemed to be coming closer, and suddenly they were upon him.
The hell, you better get out there, dude. Oh shit, he's up there on the mountain.
A confident sportsman, Williamson was determined to find out more about the creature he heard.
Screw that, I hear that, I'm out there. Next thing you know, Nessie's popping out of the water. Knocking your boat over like that one Cobb guy.
The air was heavy with a foul odor, a stench Williamson later described as being, in his own words, one of the worst smells he's ever experienced.
I think he said shit. They just didn't say it. It smelled like Bigfoot shit.
His curiosity outweighing his fears, Williamson, unarmed, made his way to the area where he had spotted the Bigfoot.
So weird, the Bigfoot runs away from everybody. They look like they're gonna rip your arms off when they're staring at you, and then go to walk up on it, and they just run away. If I'm 9 foot tall, I'm fucking shit up.
Screams of the giant creature. But the stench in the air told Williamson that the monster was still nearby.
Yeah, not too much longer. You guys wanted a longer episode of Barry Broadcast, that's why I chose something longer. We'll do short ones and long ones and many different eras. Again, we watched something from 1896 earlier, now we're watching something from 1975, so...
More and more organized expeditions are taking
yeah, this is
to
just
the
the
field
Halloween
to find
stuff.
the
We'll
Bigfoot.
get back to normal stuff.
This one is under the direction of Robert Morgan of Miami, Florida. The expedition hopes to photograph a live Bigfoot or produce evidence of a dead one.
I think that's what we need to do on this channel. We need to go on the Bigfoot
They believe a
expedition.
colony of over 200 Bigfoot creatures inhabits the unexplored wilderness of the Pacific Northwest.
That's what we need to be live streaming. We need to be
The
live
expedition
streaming
has
some
tried to
Bigfoot sightings.
anticipate the creature's movements, running the roads, keeping a watchful eye for any evidence of its passing.
Why would you take a car? That would scare it away.
Thinking Bigfoot to be a nocturnal creature, they're prepared to penetrate
lens
the
on
darkness
that
of
thing,
night
boy.
with special light amplification viewing devices.
Yeah, make sure they get the grainiest picture possible so you can't tell what it is. Got that big ass lens and you can't see shit. Look at that.
Morgan, a former government computer specialist, began to pursue Bigfoot only after having seen one, he says,
Perfect
in
person. You want to be your
1957.
Bigfoot expert, a computer
all of a sudden, this
person
thing
from the
went
government.
through the bushes. He didn't go around. He went, I mean, I could see the wake, you know, just plowed right through it, and he moved up at an angle away from me. I was on the edge of a canyon. And at a point, I estimate about 40 yards from me. It went into an opening, a clearing in the brambles. And
yeah, if this is some kind of Bigfoot cult, I would like to be a part of it.
Like looking gorilla, in my estimation, that I'd ever seen.
Okay.
And,
Not a gorilla, it's a Bigfoot.
Expeditions like this one have
The
gone
Squatch.
out armed
The
with
damn
tranquilizing guns and cameras. The object is to bring back evidence to force the scientific establishment to take a more active part in the search for Bigfoot.
There's the fork in the road. One party that way, and we go up this way here.
Okay. Pete, Ann, Ted.
Guy's got nice hair there on the right. Look at that. It's got a
Though it did
sweet
not
mullet.
find a Bigfoot, this team did find hair and fecal droppings.
Ew.
Evidence found
Hey,
on
Van
expeditions
Dookie.
like that of Robert Morgan's, and found by chance by hunters and hikers, eventually finds its way into scientific laboratories like this one. Some of it has yielded interesting results. For instance, though some feces collected and turned in are found to be that of bears or other animals, others remain unexplained.
That must be disappointing.
Unidentifiable, possibly from a creature unknown
Collect all
to
that
science.
poop and it's just bear poop.
A great deal can be learned from droppings. For example, the eating habits of the creature, which in turn can help those who are looking for Bigfoot. Now, the Morgan expedition reports that
Yeah, what they
examination
eat.
of feces leads them to believe that Bigfoot feeds on roots and grass and berries and tree shoots.
Oh,
And
that's
therefore,
why
in
they
their
run
search for
from humans.
Bigfoot,
They don't eat
they
us.
are following the growth of these succulents.
They're
Now, samples
vegetarian.
of hair believed to be that of Bigfoot are frequently brought in for examination. And again, though most of it turns out to be that of bears or some other known animal, there is that occasional finding, a strand of hair that defies analysis. Not that of a bear, not a man or a coyote or a wolf, but of something unknown. Thank you.
A monster, maybe. Yeah, he eats burgers.
Several times, such hair samples have stymied scientific definition.
Burgers and
Now,
root
these
beer.
hair samples were found at the site of giant human-like footprints and after a sighting of a Bigfoot creature. The hair samples, then, should be labeled Exhibit D, a piece of evidence which the United States Army has endorsed.
Yep,
in
you're
its
right.
official
It's a government
engineering
cover-up.
atlas covering the state of Washington. In a section about the wildlife
Always
of the
is.
state, Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, is featured.
I like to call him Squatch.
The text goes on to report that hair samples sent to the FBI
He's the
labs
hide-and-seek world
have defied
champion.
analysis. Exhibit E, the Minnesota Iceman. What might have been the only body of a Bigfoot ever found by modern man.
Whoa,
At
look
first,
at that.
nothing more than a carnival exhibit, a rotting
Can't
corpse
dispute that.
partially visible in a block of ice. Later to be thought of by at least 2 international scientists as an unknown large
Maybe it's a
primate,
caveman like
perhaps
Encino
the dead
Man,
body
that Polly
of
Shore
a young
movie.
Bigfoot. This unusual evidence mysteriously disappeared
Gonna
in
melt, he's gonna come
1968.
life, and they're gonna go wheeze the juice. Look at that old police car. It's like that one I bought in GTA.
Next, I turn to an investigative avenue often taken by the world's police
It's a
departments
Bigfoot mummy.
to get another, if unusually different, viewpoint of the creature's existence. A viewpoint that police departments in Miami, Boston, Los Angeles, and even Scotland
Those police
Yard
cars are cool. I
have
like
called
those.
upon to help solve seemingly
They just
unsolvable
look cool.
crimes. I went to Peter Hurkos, the world's foremost psychic detective, at his home in Los
Everybody
Angeles.
uses their real name in this, by the way, whether they're actually scientists or not. Everybody's using their real name. So everybody's kind of playing themselves
Unknown to
in
him
the...
and concealed in a suitcase, a plaster cast of a giant Bigfoot footprint.
Again, it's supposed to be satire, but most people
Hurkos,
took
who
it
has worked
seriously.
with police on such cases as the Boston Strangler and the Ann Arbor murders, has the unusual psychic gift of being able to read facts.
Here we
from
go with the
unseen
psychics
objects,
now.
to sense the reality and truth of such
Gotta bring
objects,
them in.
and to describe in detail, from telepathic images in his brain, what is hidden from his view.
Frightened. I didn't know what to do with it. But I'd do any test what science may impose.
Now, I have something inside this case that I want to know something
He
more
already
about.
knows that, Peter.
Now, can
He's
you,
a psychic.
Psychometrize
He already knows what's in there
here
before
without
you
ever
take
having
it out.
seen it, and tell me something about it, anything?
I will try.
All right.
Can I set it up or what?
Yes,
I
you
want it
can
open.
put it any way you like.
We should get into Uri Geller and the one guy that disproved, like, he's not real and stuff. That's the guy that has, like, mind powers and stuff.
That's an half man, half animal.
See, I told you.
Weighs about, I would say about 500 pounds.
Damn.
About between 8 and 9 feet.
Yep. You read the
Lives
script.
in cave. Lives in cave.
Look at that old ass furniture he's sitting on, too. And the ugliest furniture in, like, the
Part of
70s and
animals,
80s.
The intestine and animals.
Most of it looks like the
Also
wood paneling on the
berries and
stream.
Green stuff. It's not a gorilla. It's like a man, strong chest.
You can
and,
hear a
long
dog
arms,
barking.
normal
The dog
fingers
in the
like we
background.
have.
That kind of looks like Mo from
long
Three
hair
Stooges.
Short beard type. Peter, do you want me to draw the picture the way I see the...
Will you? Yes, sure.
Yeah, draw a picture, dude. Let's see it.
Paper.
Good thing he had that big pad of paper there. Comes in handy. He's left-handed like me.
We've witnessed a dazzling
That's
display
where
of
his
Peter
psychic
Hurkos'
powers
psychic
comes from,
powers.
being left-handed.
Powers that not only determined what
Yeah,
was
based
in
on
the
true
case,
events.
but powers that said the object in that case was authentic,
Technically, yeah,
not
Ninja.
fake. That it was made by a living creature. By
Whatever.
Bigfoot.
That looks like the fentanyl dealer down the street.
Exhibit F. Peter Hurkos, the vision of a psychic detective.
See, we're allowed joking on this channel. You guys
Exhibit
are too.
G, I traveled to a small Washington town not far from the Canadian border.
Be creative
Increasingly
with
more
it.
intrigued by the abundance of psychic and physical evidence.
There's Ohio.
The most compelling evidence for Bigfoot's existence, however, remains the eyewitness reports. And the most compelling of these are when the creature has been seen at the same time by more than one person. Now, in police work, this is called corroboration, and it's another way to establish the truth.
Yeah, it kind of does look
Now,
like
there's
me when I don't
scores of
shave
such
and stuff.
corroborative stories in the Bigfoot investigation. But the most interesting to me are these. This file contains the accounts of over a dozen sightings of Bigfoot, all taking place within a 30-day period in this small Washington
Where's
town.
Peter get all these
It was during a
files at?
salmon run on the river, and Mr. and Mrs. Tom
Must pay to be
Stenberg were the first to
celebrity. He
encounter
gets
the creature.
access to all the good Bigfoot files.
It was during September 1975.
Great day for fishing.
Yes, it really is.
It sure
Hey, by the
is.
way, what time's your brother
Looks
coming
like the
over
same
here?
river the
Oh,
other guy
fairly
was
early.
on.
There's something wrong with this reel.
That's the one you wanted, sweetheart.
I don't know, maybe it's me. I don't seem to be working it right.
Oh, quit complaining. That's why
You
we
work it
came
right
out here
and
to
get some
enjoy
fish, and I
nature.
promise I'll fry 'em.
Would you mind taking a look at it?
That lady looks familiar. I think she was in some other movies and
What
stuff.
is that?
I think she became popular later on in life. It might be the mom from the Lost Boys movie. I could be wrong, but she kind of reminds me of her. I could be totally wrong, actually.
Yeah, they must have weighed 500-600 pounds.
Does look familiar, though. Grandma? Why do people go looking for that? If I see something like that, I'm going the other way.
My stride.
Mr. and Mrs. Stern's
Especially if
sighting of
I'm
the
like
hairy
90
creature
years
backed
old
up
like
by
that
their
guy.
discovery of
That
giant
guy looks like
footprints
Bigfoot with all that
was to
hair
be
on his
followed by
arm.
a
See
more
how hairy his
terrifying
arm was?
experience.
Look at that. Hold on, I'll show you his
Stern's
arm
sighting
again.
of
Look
the
at his
hairy
arm.
creature, backed up by their discovery of giant footprints, was to be followed by a more terrifying experience.
Sorry, I forgot I could skip a couple seconds if I need to.
Police cards on file at the county sheriff's office.
Yeah, if
recount
you ever
the
want to
horror
see
of
something
that
again
second
when we're
encounter.
doing buried broadcasts, let me know. We can always skip back and
10:10
couple
p.m.,
seconds and
September 12,
watch something again if it's
1975.
funny. I like to keep
Rita
it moving,
Graham
though.
was alone in the
We
living
can.
room watching television.
Look at that TV. That's what TVs will circle. Bigfoot's looking for some berries. No nerves.
I will be able to see you soon. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking like Bigfoot if I keep eating all these burgers. All these Bigfoot burgers.
Yes, dear, Mexico.
The two of us alone.
Should have kept it blind open. She would have seen the Bigfoot out there.
Have you heard from Mary?
No.
I think she sent some flowers.
Ah! Holy shit! Who's gonna pay for that? Damn, that one's aggressive. That one wants some berries. All the other Bigfoots run away. He's like, I got this. Step aside. Step aside, little lady. I got my BB gun. it's getting intense. You can tell by the music. Careful. Careful, Bobby. Ah! Damn, he ripped Bobby's head off.
There were 10 more such sightings in the town within the next 3 weeks, the most dramatic of which took place in the early morning hours.
So what happened? Did he kill the guy, or did the guy kill
Indian
him, or
youths
what?
were fishing on the Nooksack River.
Did he invite him in for
John
some berries?
Green, 31, a recreational director for the Lummi Indian Council, and 2 friends were taking turns drifting down the channel,
Native
trailing their
American,
nets,
Peter.
fishing for salmon.
You hear that loon? Well, I guess they didn't have internet back then. I was about to say, what are all these people doing out in boats in the middle of the night and stuff? But they didn't have internet and stuff then. They didn't even have cable TV, so they just had like 2 TV channels, so yeah, you had no choice but to go outside and do stuff, I guess.
John Green heard a strange noise.
I
He
remember
became
those
aware of
days.
a strong,
They were nice.
unpleasant smell. Felt something tugging at his nets, but he saw nothing.
Tugging at what? His nuts? The hell's that? A bird in the water?
Are you okay? Hurry up! This way! Come on!
Bigfoot don't like flashlights. Jeez, quit trying to lighten his eyes. He just wants some berries.
Now, is it possible that so many people over a period of time could fabricate and maintain their stories, that is, tell lies?
I don't think,
Or are they
Peter.
telling
That
the
doesn't
truth?
sound like the world to me.
With me is William
That's not the
Stenberg,
world I
a
live in.
former police officer
People
for the
don't make
Glendale
shit
Police
up in the
Department.
world I live in.
A man licensed by the state of California to do polygraph work. That is, to conduct lie detector examinations. We're about to test the story of one of those townspeople, Johnny Green, whose story you've just seen.
Johnny
We're going to give him
Green.
a lie detector test to see if he was telling the truth. In order that the test meet every standard of normal investigative work, our cameras will not intrude on the examination. We'll watch from back here through a 2-way mirror. Johnny's reactions will not be altered by our presence. Now, Mr. Stenberg, can you tell me basically how the polygraph
nightmares.
works?
Yes, sir, I can. This is a keeler
I think that was the
polygraph
tagline for this movie.
three-channel instrument. It records the breathing.
I'm gonna have
and
nightmares, that's
which
for
is
sure.
placed around the subject's abdomen.
This is
The
perfect for
cardio
this
cuff, which is
spooky
placed
season.
upon either the left or right arm, records the rise and fall in the subject's blood pressure.
Whatever, polygraph tests are
A
bullshit. That's why you
galvanic
can't
skin
even
response
use
is
them in
placed
court.
upon either the left or right hand, and it records certain perspiration.
Most of the time,
emitted
people
by
were
the
so
palm of the
nervous
hand.
when they take them, it didn't even take an
All the
accurate result
reactions
anyway,
are
if it
recorded
even did work.
independently
So
by the 3 pins, the pneumo, galvanic skin
the
response,
fact that they still
and the
use those
cardio.
is laughable.
All questions require yes or no answers.
No movement, John.
I believe old Johnny Green here.
Test about to begin.
You know when you see a Squatch.
Is your true name John Green?
Yes.
That's not
You
true,
intend to
it's
answer
Jonathan
all my
Green.
questions truthfully.
Yes.
Do you believe you saw a creature 7 feet tall standing in the water?
Oh, now
on
he's
the
7
Sac
foot
River
tall.
at
He lost 2
2:30 a.m.?
feet.
Yes.
Did you feel and see the creature pull on the tailboard attached to your fishing net?
Yes.
Did you see the creature in your light?
Yes.
describe the creature 7 feet tall, heavy build, covered with hair and a head shaped like a gorilla?
Yes.
I believe him.
To complete a polygraph test, Stenberg asks the same 12 questions 3 times each.
Making the results even more inaccurate, because by the 3rd time you're going to be pissed off that they keep asking you the same question.
Test is complete, John. Please remain seated.
John's like, damn, I'm ready to fall
The
asleep.
polygraph machine confirms that John Green did see something that night in the Nooksack River.
See, I told you I seen
Something
something in the
hairy,
Nutsack River.
Something John Green and his neighbors call Bigfoot.
Dr. Sidney Walter, a clinical
Here we
psychologist.
go, we're going to go into
licensed by the
hypnosis
California
now.
State Board of Medical Examiners. A former professor at UCLA and a government consultant, Dr. Walter specializes in the use of hypnosis. And he is, at this moment, placing Jerry Lou Welchel of Fontana, California, into a hypnotic trance. Now, Jerry Lou has already told me that she, her girlfriend, and 2 children all saw Bigfoot one night 6 years ago.
And don't forget, this one, it was on
Walter will now
TV,
test
got
their
over
story
50 million
under
viewers
hypnosis.
when it first aired.
You're back into the summer.
The theatrical release made almost $11 million.
It is summertime of 1968. It is summertime of 1968. You're going to call up your girlfriend, Kathy. You're going to get into your T-Bird and drive towards that location, and you're going to relive.
Why can't they
and
just take their
experience
word for it? Why they got hypnotize
everything
them?
in detail, step by step.
What the crap?
Kathy?
Spit it out already. Tell them about the Bigfoot.
Kathy.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. She had a
Sure.
T-bird. I'm like, damn, that's pretty nice.
Was Jean over at your house?
Pretty nice car for back then.
But you just left here. Yeah.
She don't look like she drives a
No,
T-bird.
He said that they were going up to see about that monster. Yeah. Okay, you want to go? I'll get the kids ready. Okay. See you in a few minutes.
She's reliving the day that she's
Okay,
seen
get
this
your
Squatch.
coat on.
She's not acting,
Okay,
she's
finish it.
hypnotized.
Jerry Lou, now actually in a deep hypnotic trance,
That's what we need videos
is
on,
recalling
these
how she
psychics
and
and
a girlfriend went out to a
hypnotists.
deserted drag strip to investigate the reports of a monster seen there the night before.
Now get back in the seat and sit down. Is Kathy home?
This is what they did in the 70s to find out if you're telling
There
the
you go.
truth or not.
Okay.
We need more of this now.
Now, where was it? The drag strip. Nah. No monster's gonna be there.
Also, they went looking for the monster. That was their intention. They found what they were looking for.
Okay. Oh, heck. Carson. Kathy, look out.
The Squatch got Kathy.
Get down. Get down.
She's
get down.
dead. She's dead. Kathy's dead.
Oh.
Oh shit. It scratched her shoulder.
Oh. She's bleeding.
Then the Squatch
I'm
made
all
love
right,
to
I'm
her.
all right. Let's go to the police.
Sweet Squatch
Come on.
love. Yeah,
Drift
she liked
deeper
that Squatch love it.
And deeper into relaxed state now, Jerry. Drift deeper and deeper into relaxed
Need
state.
to pull her out,
You can hear
dude. She's
me?
freaking out,
Jerry,
man.
let your whole body become calm.
calm down.
And relax. Now,
Don't worry.
you can recall
Don't picture Kathy's severed head.
scenes as I ask you questions. They'll be very vivid, very clear to you. But you are safe and sound. You are safe and sound at home.
You're all right. We got you. Daddy's got you.
Jerry, you could hear me clearly. What were you frightened of?
Damn Squatch, dude.
It was big. And it smelled terrible.
It was big and smelled terrible?
Yes.
Smelled like shit.
It smelled terrible.
It smelled terrible.
See, that's
Can you
why they should
describe
believe them.
what
They all say
frightened
the
you
same
even
thing.
more?
Most of all, is it getting to the kids.
Why would you take the kids looking for a damn Squatch? She needs her kids taken away.
It was
Wait,
like
turn that metronome off too.
I can't explain it. It's just
I think that's what it's
big,
called.
hairy.
That's what she said.
It hurt me.
How big do you believe it was?
Using hypnosis as a tool to help us establish the truth, we have verified an actual eyewitness account of an encounter with Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, they don't have shampoo in the woods. What do they think it's going to smell like, you know? Give them some conditioner. Maybe he'll smell better. Give them some of that herbal essence
in
or
Oregon
something.
by an experienced woodsman,
Head and
Zach
shoulders.
Emerson.
Not
And
sponsored.
this one, taken in 1974 in British Columbia, Canada, by an Ohio woman on vacation.
Yep, see? The Ohio lady had to go somewhere else to see a damn Squatch.
And a third one taken in Alaska in 1973.
Yeah, that's definitely one right there. Damn Bigfoot if I've ever seen one.
Pictures of the creature would seem to be all the proof that's needed to confirm Bigfoot's existence. And the most famous picture of Bigfoot is this one.
Boom, right there. This is the first film that really showed that picture worldwide. Again, there was no internet, so the first time the whole world really saw that was in
the
this.
most controversial film of its kind. It startled the
It was in like
scientific world.
newspapers and stuff before that. but
Anthropologist Grover Krantz of Washington State
Not
University,
really any film.
Dr. Donald W. Grieve, a London scientist,
I say
and Dr.
film because
Dmitry
everything was
Donsky,
on film
the
back
chief
then.
of biomechanics at a Russian institute, all studied the film, and they could find
It's
no
not a
reason
rock,
to
it's
doubt
damn
the film's
Bigfoot.
authenticity. And John Napier, a primate biologist,
Why weren't
formerly
all
at
the other
Smithsonian
rocks
Institution,
solid
also
black
studied
like
the
that,
film.
Ninja?
And he wrote in his book that he too is convinced that Bigfoot exists.
Whatever, that book's Who's Who in the zoo.
Patterson took his famous film while on an expedition with a colleague. They were tracking down the giant
Hey,
hairy
be
man-like
careful you
monster.
fall down that hill on your horse. That's what I do on Red
Patterson had been
Dead.
searching for the creature for 8 years.
My horse won't go down a hill like that.
Suddenly there was a commotion. Patterson's horse reared.
Oh,
killing him.
jeebus.
Patterson grabbed his camera and filmed as he ran.
Yeah. Again, this is the first time they really showed this. This is like the definitive Bigfoot footage. This is what pretty much started the Bigfoot craze.
Snowman of America.
This is the Bigfoot footage. This is the first ever
If this film is
sighting of
legitimate,
Bigfoot
then there
on
can no
film.
longer be any question about Bigfoot's existence.
This is like the most famous footage of Bigfoot right here.
To verify its legitimacy, I went to anthropologist Grover Krantz at Washington State University.
There is
Which
one
I believe
film
is
that
called
was
the
made by Roger
Patterson
Patterson
Gimlin
in
film.
1967 of what appears to be a Sasquatch
I could be wrong
I'm
about that.
reasonably convinced now is a legitimate piece of film. I've checked just about every possible measurement of that
Yeah,
film.
that's the real one.
Having looked at
That's
it
the OG
at least 50
Bigfoot,
times now,
as the
I
kids
don't
say.
think there's any way Patterson could
Tony
have figured
Schiavone
this all
here
out
again.
and faked it.
I also asked Dr. Jeffrey Bourne, director of the prestigious Hurkos
Prestigious.
primate
I hate
lab
when
in
people say
Atlanta, Georgia,
prestigious. It's
to
prestigious.
analyze the film.
Well,
Like
you know,
when people say sagittal.
that looks to me very much like a human walk
Well,
gait
it's
is very
much me like
of
a
a
human.
human-type gait.
If you have a large primate who has basically the bipedal locomotion, he would have to have
He's
a
gotta have that
human-like gait.
bipedal.
This is exactly
Mostly
what I
in
would
the
expect.
crotchal area.
And also, when you look at its feet as it walks, the undersurface is much too light-colored for an animal with this kind of dark fur.
The light color on the bottom of the feet is perfectly normal for any primate, or, well, most
Could just be
hominid-like
dirt.
primates.
Yeah,
Africans
prestigious,
with
not
black skin have very
prestigious.
light-colored soles of the feet. This is simply because the
Spelled
striatum
the same,
corneum
but-
is very thick and carries less of the pigment.
And furthermore, it seems to have the characteristics of both male and female. The head has a big
Male, female.
crest on it, like a male gorilla does, and
Like a
this
male gorilla.
crest is called a sagittal crest.
A sagittal
this
crest,
creature
what?
also has pendulous breasts, which is
Whoa,
a female
hello,
characteristic.
The crest, the sagittal crest on the top of the head has been claimed as a male characteristic in the Patterson film. Well, yes, it's a characteristic
Well, that last
of
guy
adult
said it has
male
tits.
gorillas and orangutans, but it's not a male characteristic, it's a size characteristic. Beyond a certain size, the jaw muscles must find attachment on a special crest, and it happens that only male gorillas and orangutans get that big.
It's not an ape. They
If there
said
were
this
a
whole time
female
it's a damn
primate
human ninja.
of
Haven't
the
you been
5
watching?
to 500-pound body size, it would have
I mean,
to be
this was
so
like 50
big
years
that it
ago,
would have
so
a
things
crest
could
as well. So it's not a male
So
characteristic.
things could have changed.
And the
But
breasts are covered in fur, and in all other primates, the breasts are
see, it says it
actually
has
either
hairy
bare
tits.
or very sparsely haired.
Got hairy ape
I
tits.
don't know what the breast of a Sasquatch ought to look like. Of course, what's going on there is, in Patterson's film, the creature has a
See, I was right.
bulge
Patterson
here,
Gimlin film.
which seems to be a two-part bulge, but it's not really very
Yeah.
clear. This might not actually be
Had a bulge in
these
his
could be
bipedal area.
outcrouchings from the trachea, which occur in many large apes, called laryngeal air sacs.
Whoa.
Patterson, who died of cancer in
I
1972,
had a laryngeal air sac
swore on
one
his
time. It
deathbed
wasn't
that
fun.
this film was authentic. His partner that day also swears that what you're seeing now is a picture of a real Bigfoot.
Well, it is. That's the OG Bigfoot there. That's the Bigfoot footage. That's what started it all.
Satisfied with this evidence, some scientists are now trying to
See, if it was an ape
Bigfoot
ninja, why doesn't it walk on its
declaring him
hands
to be
like the
perhaps
apes
a
do
more
in that
evolved
picture?
species of a
See?
fossilized ape,
Thank you.
a more man-like Gigantopithecus.
I think that's what you were saying, Ninja. It's a Gigantopithecus. Alright, we're almost at the end here. It's almost over.
Colony of the creatures, perhaps 200 of them, centered mainly in the Pacific.
The sound
Northwest.
might be weird here too because there was copyright music and I had to take it out.
They're
So.
nomadic creatures who travel in small groups. And
Sounds
oftentimes
weird, I
alone,
apologize.
following the food supply. They're mainly vegetarians, eating roots, berries, fruits, and nuts. Some have been seen, though not frequently, eating small rodents like field mice.
Oh, see, they're getting a taste of blood. That's why that one broke the window and tried to get that lady. Yeah, I guess this was the controversial scene with the female Bigfoot.
There have even been accounts of them
The
digging
people
for
that were
clams
offended
on
by a
open beach.
female Bigfoot in this movie, they probably wouldn't be able to survive nowadays, that's for sure.
Bigfoot creatures have also been seen pulling fish from the streams and taking them from fishermen's barrels outside their homes.
Yeah, that is what you said. So, but just basically leaving it up to you. They
have
say it
never
could
been
be a
known to
human
use
or it could be
fire
an ape. It's
or
up
to
to
use
you
tools,
to
though they have
decide.
frequently been seen using a stick or a stone to dig for food.
Sounds like it's
They
a
build
mix
no
of
permanent
both.
dwellings, making their beds under trees or in caves. They sleep mostly during the day, traveling and looking for food at night,
Well, we
finding
need to get up
safety
and
in
get
the
a job.
darkness.
Be sleeping outside.
They have keen animal-like senses and they're quick to perceive
And ain't no wonder
danger.
they go out at night. Everybody chasing them during the daytime.
They're strong and very fast for creatures their size.
Yeah, look at
And
that
yet,
thing. It looks
they're
like a gazelle, buddy.
yielding the land to the first intruder.
Oh, look at the little baby big feet.
Some accounts indicate that the Bigfoot creatures might live in family
You
units.
barely see them, but they were there. They had little baby big feet.
Albert Ostman's observations in 1924 show that the father performed certain patriarchal duties for his family.
Duties. Yeah, we're almost like at the very end of this.
Bigfoot probably enjoy a longer childhood than
Yeah,
do
it could be.
most
It could be like
creatures
part
in the
caveman, just a very hairy
They're dependent on
caveman.
their elders for food or protection.
Like I said, that's why that one was in a block of ice. It's like Encino
in the
Man.
forest.
Have you ever seen that movie from the 90s? But pretty good.
They themselves are not predators. If they were, more would be known about them. For a giant creature that attacked and fed on cougars and goats and deer could not long escape the watchful eye and the ready rifle of the hunter. They're shy and wary creatures. Apparently gentle toward both man and beast. Creatures alive
You see a
to the
Bigfoot, give him a
possibilities of the
hug.
wilderness. They're elusive creatures, hard to catch a glimpse of. Creatures perhaps like man, still evolving into a higher
Ugly
order.
son of a bitch, that's sure.
There are some who believe that the Bigfoot creatures are man, primitive man.
That would be
and
me.
as such are entitled to all the protection
That's
our
what you
society
just said
offers
too,
other
Ninja.
men.
Crazy.
One true story that illustrates Bigfoot's human likeness.
One thing for sure, I think we've proven that he is real.
Teacher, William
No matter what he is.
Lawrence was driving with his wife Kathy on a backcountry road in the spring of 1973.
Was that the St. Kathy that was with the other lady that got hypnotized? She's seen 2 Bigfoots in her lifetime.
You see that? I'll get my rifle and get a shot at this thing.
This is what everybody does in America. They get their rifle when they see things. Especially back then. Like, I see something, let me shoot it.
I can't.
Why not?
I can't. It looks human.
Unable to shoot, Lawrence later described Bigfoot as having the eyes of a thinking creature, not the eyes of a wild animal.
Means he's human. He can
Man
think. He's
Or
self-aware.
beast. What it is still unknown. Some believe that Bigfoot is a kind of ape, undiscovered by science.
Ninja.
Or a prehistoric species of ape thought to be extinct. Others speculate it might be the so-called missing link, or even early man.
Me.
Whatever it is, the volume of evidence seems conclusive. Our Earth is host to such giant creatures as the Bigfoot. There are the sightings, corroborated by hypnosis and polygraph tests, the footprints, the sound recordings, the photographs, the film, all enough to prove that Bigfoot is as much a part of our life as the gorilla or the Loch Ness Monster.
I agree, Peter. I agree.
Bigfoot is today free to roam the forests of America, living off the land but leaving no trace of his passage except for an occasional footprint. He's gigantic and powerful, and yet he harms nobody. and
Like I
destroys
said,
nothing.
the most
He is
recent
at peace
sighting has
with
been
the
August 2025 in
But
Missouri
this
on a trail
wilderness
camera.
is vanishing. Each year, the press of civilization converts our forests into towns, our meadows into roads. The land the Bigfoot lives on shrinks. Soon they may be driven from their wilderness cover, like Ishi, the dawn man of Redding, California. And we will at last know what they are. And then there will be
Call
no
him
more
Ishi
skeptics.
for Rishi. Look at that beautiful land that the Bigfoot lives
Man will
in.
continue to try to solve the mystery of Bigfoot. But as we do, let us hope that we will not destroy what we seek to understand.
Yeah, see, like I said earlier, that's why they did tear down all our woods and build apartment buildings here. They don't want any more big feats. Yeah, he's here, Ninja. I've seen him. Alright, everybody. All events dramatized in this motion picture are based upon the reports of actual eyewitnesses. Yes, that means he's real. The end, everybody. So there you go, everybody. That is The Mysterious Monsters from 1975. I will say this documentary's distinct and sensational format is the definitive blueprint for almost every modern paranormal show that followed it. It cemented Bigfoot, the Yeti, and Nessie as permanent global icons of the modern paranormal. And to give you an update on Peter Graves died of a heart attack on March 14th of 2010, 4 days before his 84th birthday. So, but he lived a good life. He did a bunch of movies. Was a corporal in the United States Air Force, so, you know. He made a Bigfoot movie, you know. Don't get much better than that, so. So, yeah, everybody. That is The Mysterious Monsters from 1975, narrated by Peter Graves, here on Buried Broadcast on the Sprinkles 138 YouTube channel. Well, like I said earlier, I have been your host, Shane, and what we usually do on this channel is gaming stuff, but we do this every once in a while. Again, you can catch Buried Broadcast every Saturday all October long as we watch all Halloween stuff to celebrate Halloween. And next Saturday, we'll be watching The Monsters, the TV pilot. There's something else we're watching too, but I don't want to spoil everything, so. Then the following Saturday will be our big Halloween movie where we watch House on Haunted Hill starring Vincent Price. So tune in for that. Then we'll get back to our normal schedule of Buried Broadcasts after that, where we do it like once or twice a month. It is a lot to research and find this stuff, but I do have the next movie that I want to watch lined up after Halloween, so I just need to research it a bit. That way I have information for you guys about it. But yeah, there you go. Like I said, this movie grossed $10.96 million in the box office. That's not including inflation, so you know. Whoops, we don't want to restart it. We'll look at Peter Graves, though, while we wrap this bad boy up. So let's go ahead and wrap it up again, everybody. If you enjoyed yourself, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that join button, become a member if you're inclined to do so. Again, if you're not into the gaming stuff that we do on this channel, but you want to keep up with Buried Broadcast, I do upload these episodes to Spotify like a day after we do them live. So if you want to follow on Spotify, you can get Buried Broadcast there. Just search for it. There's also a link in the description. But yeah, please hit that subscribe button, support the channel. It does help. Again, we do a lot of gaming stuff around here, but we're going to start doing more stuff like this here soon, so. But yeah, any thoughts, questions, concerns on this? Anybody that's left with us here today? Let's go ahead and end the poll. I usually forget to end the poll. I asked today, what is your favorite cryptid, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, or other? 75% said Bigfoot, and 25% said other. I think the Frogman of Loveland is pretty good. That's a local tale here. Look that up, the Frogman of Loveland. Loveland, Ohio. Yeah, it was pretty good. We got more coming, Ninja. I would like to find some more stuff like that. Like I said, find some like Uri Geller stuff, like psychic stuff, and I found one documentary about Satanism and occults and stuff, but I'm afraid to touch that topic because it involves religion and people are touchy-feely these days, so maybe if we can get some members, we'll do a members-only stream of that, where we watch about Satanists and occults and stuff. But yeah, plenty more Buried Broadcasts to come. Just keep an eye out, everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because my song is getting ready to end. I'm probably going to have to restart it because it's like literally getting ready to end, so. But yeah, if you missed the Quarry stream from yesterday, we started the game The Quarry for Halloween. Again, I will admit the first couple chapters there were kind of slow, but it is going to pick up. We're going to be doing that every Friday. Next stream will be on Tuesday. We'll probably be doing PS2 stuff. I think I want to play Ghostbusters for PS2. I was going to buy the remastered version on PS4 and show you the difference, but I think that would be a waste since I can play it for free on the emulator. So, but yeah, we'll probably be doing that on Tuesday. Then Thursday we'll probably do GTA. Then of course Friday we'll be back at it with The Quarry. We'll do chapter 3 through 6 of The Quarry on Friday. And then next Saturday, we'll be watching The Munsters unaired TV pilot. So, that one will be a short episode next week. So, next week's Barry broadcast will probably be an hour long at most. So, if you blink, you'll miss it. Don't miss it. So, but again, hit like, hit subscribe, everybody, and I will see you on Tuesday for more PS2 stuff. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out here today. This is your guys' stream. That's why I put chat next to the TV, so you guys can joke about this stuff. So, don't be afraid to joke around here, you know. I was sitting there talking about hairy ape tits and stuff, so. Say what you want, just don't get too out of control. You know, we got terms of service around here. I can't control that, so. But again, thank you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Ninja. Thank you, Resolution. Thank you, anybody else that was here today. Much appreciated. And again, we'll see you on Tuesday when I turn from Shane back into the Sprinkles, the Undisputed World Champion. So yeah, we'll see you then. I don't have an outro for this show, so that's it for Barry Broadcast today, everybody. So we'll see you next time. Have a good day, and we'll see you later. Get sprinkled, I'll say it, why not? That's not this show, but I don't have an outro, so. Alright, see y'all. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. Be safe, be nice, be kind.